Welcome. Welcome to the third episode of the 1-4 Flat podcast. Get the hell out the way. No scrubs allowed. You know how this goes, baby. Let's get into this motherfucking podcast. A lot of shit to talk about today. Last episode. First things first. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you had a good dinner. Good time with the family and friends. Last episode, I did not speak on any fashion or music related topics, and I think that's how my Tuesday episodes are going to go. It's just going to be strictly sports, and then Fridays we'll have sports and fashion and music all in one episode, just because the fashion and the music topics topics don't really come up as frequent as sports is right now. So Fridays we'll have all of that. And today I'm recording a little late, so sorry about that. But we're gonna jump into some NFL events. Well, let's start off with the Thanksgiving games. Two of the games went as expected. You know, the Saints, the Falcons are a mess. I think at the end of this season they'll blow it up. You know, they'll get rid of the head coach, the GM. You know, they got to start from scratch. You know, since that Super Bowl loss, just haven't been the same team overall. Bears, took care of Detroit, as they're supposed to. But big story, of course, is Dallas. They lose to the Bills. Josh Allen had a good game, and this Bills team is, they're not just some team. I mean, these boys are 9-3. Let me say that again, 9-3. And they're in the same division as the New England Patriots. That's a big deal because they have not been a good team in quite some time. But, so the Bills took care of Dallas. All these media outlets are, talking about Jason Garrett can't be a head coach, blah, blah, blah. He can't take on this role as head coach. When has he ever done well in that position? He's had 2-3 playoff wins in his whole career as a Dallas Cowboy head coach. That's fucking ridiculous. I mean, that's like Marvin. I wouldn't say it's as bad as Marvin Lewis, but holy, yeah. I mean, they should have got rid of him a couple years ago. And people in that story just keeps, popping up every once in a while. I'm like, this is no surprise. It's been going on for the past at least 7 years, right? So, yeah, and Jerry Jones is a mess. I mean, at times it's more like he's a super fan than he is a owner. He needs to get rid of Jason Garrett ASAP. And if I was and I don't think he should get a job anywhere else in the NFL as a head coach. Maybe he can get a coordinator job or, something else somewhere. But I saw some report that the Giants were interested in him if he became available. Why? What part of his resume says he will be good for our team? I don't see it. I do not see him being successful anywhere else, especially if he can't be. Dallas has a talented team, and they can't get it together. Their division sucks, and they kind of suck right now. But they have talent on their team, and they just cannot figure out how to win. And when you have a bunch of talent and they just somehow can't win, a lot of that pressure goes on to the head coach. So I wouldn't wait till the off season to do it, because they're saying, Jerry Jones, we're gonna make this playoff run. Okay, if you get to the playoffs, who are you gonna beat? Who are you gonna beat in the NFC? You gonna beat the Seattle Seahawks? No. You gonna beat the 49ers? No. You won't beat the Packers, especially if it's in Lambeau. You're not gonna beat the Saints. Nope, not happening. Yeah, I get rid of them ASAP. So let's talk about some big matchups this upcoming Sunday with the Ravens and 49ers. I'm going to pick the Ravens in a close one, but I hope they lose. Last episode I talked about the Ravens are kind of in over their heads. They're a little too cocky right now, having a little bit too much fun in the press and the media. I think they need to come back down to earth a little bit, be humbled before the playoffs, rather than in the playoffs. That's big. But I will not be surprised if they win. I just don't believe in Jimmy G. Really. That defense is for real, of course, but I don't believe in that offense, and that's that. But Ravens over 49ers. And then the Houston Texans and the New England Patriots. Now, I think there's two really big things to look for about this game. Number one, this is in no order, but number one is I think this game is going to let everybody know if the Patriots if they're going to be able to make a run in the playoffs, and if they still have, you know what I mean? It's gonna tell us if the Patriots are for real. It's gonna tell us if the Patriots will head into the playoffs with, that Patriot mentality, thinking, it's playoff Tom, playoff Bill Belichick, they're gonna get it done. But if they lose, because they haven't really played anybody. The one team they have played that is really good are the Baltimore Ravens. And the Ravens picked them apart. And they barely won against the Bills. I don't think Tom scored a touchdown, if I can remember correctly. But, And this Texans team, of course, offensively with DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson, good team. Their defense really isn't that great, which, again, is going to tell us if Tom Brady is either in decline or if he's hanging in there. Okay, but the second thing is what I'm most looking forward to is the DeAndre Hopkins and Stephon Gilmore matchup. I personally believe DeAndre Hopkins is the best wide receiver in the NFL. And I personally believe Stephon Gilmore is the number one cornerback in the league. So big matchup. Now, who has Stephon Gilmore covered this year? That is a great wide receiver. Amari Cooper, it ends there. Amari Cooper and DeAndre Hopkins are two totally different, different levels. They're on two different levels. DeAndre Hopkins is on another planet compared to Amari Cooper. I don't care too much about stats. I'm saying strictly as a professional wide receiver in the NFL, player ability, catch radius, route running, clutch, open field. Yeah, I'm giving it to D-Hop. And, but Stephon Gilmore, shout out to, it's good to see shut down corners. I love that. I love that part of the game, But he's really only covered Amari Cooper. And granted, he locked his ass up, clamped him up. But I think DeAndre Hopkins will get the better of Gilmore. I'll say 6 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown. Okay. But I'll take the Texans over the Patriots as well. All right. I think that's it for the NFL that I want to talk about. I was going to get into the Broncos, but I understand not a lot of you give one single shit about the shitty Broncos. So let's get into the NBA, and I'm going to start off with not so much directly NBA. Just go to media personalities that were ex-NBA players. Number 1, Scottie Pippen. I heard Scottie Pippen say this week that LeBron James is in the prime of his career. Scottie Pippen, I don't know if you have Alzheimer's or if you just haven't been watching basketball or haven't been paying attention, or if you've seen LeBron play in that Heat uniform. Scottie. Yeah, I don't. And then it's like Paul Pierce. God, I think everybody on the internet can agree Paul Pierce is fucking delusional and he should not be on television. And, as an analyst, I mean, goddamn, only a few ex-players can do that job. And I just don't think he does it well. But again, going back to Scottie Pippen, media brushes it under the rug because it's Scottie Pippen. He played with Michael Jordan. He won 6 rings. Can't touch that guy. No, fuck that. Scottie, get your old ass, get your ass to the retirement home. Get your ass to a hospital. See if you got Alzheimer's or something. Because you looking crazy on TV, bruh. And Jalen Rose is on like 4 different shows on ESPN, I swear. He's on Get Up. He's on ESPN, the Wednesday games. They do a show after, the late night game, whatever that is with, yeah. And I'm sure he's on a couple other shows, too. Oh, he has the Jalen and Jacoby thing. Cool. That's where I want to see you on TV or on the internet. I do not want to see you on no fucking Vlad TV or Ebro in the fucking morning. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just weird. I think it's weird. Because those two are mainly hip-hop media outlets. And I get it. Basketball's hip-hop. There's a lot of correlation there. But I really don't want to see fucking Jalen Rose on Vlad TV or Ebro in the morning. But let's talk about this Kyrie Irving quote-unquote outburst to, the media, the fans, all that. I think we all get what he was trying to say. He's a person. Basketball is just a game. There's more to life than him shooting the ball into a basket and, that he has his own personal struggles and whatnot. Just think he went about it the wrong way. DeRozan even just recently said, I got the fuck off Instagram and Twitter and shit. I don't like it. Never really have. And I think most athletes should get off of social media. I think most people should get off of social media because that shit can really affect your mental health. Me in that discussion, honestly. But, for Kyrie Irving, give, because his brand is a lot bigger than DeMar DeRozan's. I get that. So you can't just delete your social medias altogether. But give it to your best friend. Let your manager, let your publicist, or someone else run your social media platforms, because if you can't handle it, then it's just self-awareness, man, and you can't just go out blasting the people who support you, who come out to see you all the time, watch you on TV. Yeah, you just can't do that, man. But I also want to get into the Anthony Davis return to New Orleans. I think it went how it should have went. Gave him a 40-piece. That's how it's supposed to go. You're a dominant player. You get drafted to this team. You're there for several years, more than 5, and you leave. You leave to a bigger organization with better players. You should come back and giving them your shit. And that's what I think about that. But it's good to see AD playing well with LeBron. It's good basketball to watch, and it makes the Clippers-Lakers quote-unquote rivalry, the battle for LA, really interesting. And the NBA is coming up on a new deal, on a new television deal, or whatever that is. And they're putting this out into, just putting it out there that they might shorten the season to 72 games versus 82 games. They'll add a postseason play-in, and possibly a in-season tournament. So the first two, the 72-game season and the playoff play-in, makes sense. Where'd the tournament part come into play? I guess they'll have to give us more details on why the tournament makes sense, and adding that into the middle of a regular season. But I like what James Harden said. They asked him about it. He goes, "What is this, college?" And he's got a point. I'm not sure fans want to see that. And I'm sure as hell the players don't want to do that shit. So, yeah, that's what I think about that. But I was watching some college basketball today. This guard from Marquette, Marcus Howard, I think his name is. Whew. Boy dropped a 50-piece. Granted, it was on USC, but, man, I think they said he's had 2 other 50-point games in his college career, and yeah, he's a bucket. 9 threes, can score on all 3 levels. He looks pretty legit. And yeah, Duke lost, but so did Kentucky. Don't just, Duke lost to SF Austin. That team we've been seeing a lot more in the tournament. Of course, they're not on Duke's level. By any means, Duke should not lose to SF Austin. But Kentucky lost to, I don't even know, a team nobody, I swear to God, nobody has heard. And people like to focus on Duke because everybody hates Duke. I get that, but let's keep that same energy with these other top 5 schools. Yeah. And I think that, those two teams both losing to these unranked teams shows that there's really not a clear-cut number one in college basketball right now, which I enjoy a lot. A lot more parity, I guess, to this season. And it's very early, but I think it will be a good season, a well-balanced season to where a lot of teams will be in the mix to win it this year in the big tournament. But I think that's all I got about sports. Really looking forward to NFL this Sunday. But let's get on to fashion. And speaking, Nike released a trainer, Barry Sanders. I don't know if it was his trainer shoe from back in the day. I can't quite remember. But it was a Barry Sanders rendition of this trainer that was released, part of that Thanksgiving game. And to be honest, I think we should, I'm a fan of the older trainers. I think they should make a comeback. I think they're just dope shoes. Got that real retro look to them. I would like to see some of those come back. And the Sakai Waffle, Nike Sakai Waffle is coming out with a couple more colorways, which I like a lot. I think it's a dope shoe. And I think it's dope enough to where it will remain relevant with new colorways. But they should be cautious. I don't think it will quite end up like the Element React or the React Elements and the Vapor Maxes, where they just killed the market with a ton of different renditions of it, a whole ton of colorways and yada yada yada, and like the Ultra Boost. No, I think it's just such a unique dope shoe that I think it will stick around. But they should be a little cautious on how much they put into the marketplace. And just some quick hits. The Off-White Jordan 5, trash, looks god-awful, not a fan. Black Ferrari 14s. I'm a fan of the first Ferrari 14s, all red joints. But this black pair was nice. It was dope. I was looking at the pictures like, oh, this is a good 14. And I think I like the 14. I like the 14 quite a bit, but looking at the pictures, oh, these are dope. And then I see the inside, the inside part of the shoe. And it's some like quilted, I'm assuming it's got to be based on maybe the interior of some Ferrari or something. Why Jordan Brand? Why? That killed the sneaker. I will not get those because of that little part they added on the inside of that shoe where it's that quilted material. Not a fan. I'm not sure why Jordan did that. But the Nike Supreme collection was dope. I really like that. I really want the duffel. I think the jersey was kind of cool. I don't know. The leather for me is a hit or miss, but excuse me. That duffel is real dope. I like that duffel a lot. The Dover Street Market anniversary drop, with the Bape and a couple other collabs, I think had some real dope shit in it. Speaking of another department store, Barney's, R.I.P. The shareholders or something like that owns Saks Fifth bought Barney's, New York. So all the Barneys are going out of business, 40% off everything, or almost everything. So you can get some cheap designer. But I don't know, I'm just kind of bummed out because I've never been. And Barney's, that's a big name. But yeah, R.I.P. Barney's. And I think that's it for the fashion, as far as I can remember. But some music. There's the Mac Miller situation, which is, it was hard to, it was just bad. I'm not even gonna say the dude's name. Don't want to give him any more attention than he's gotten. That fool's a fucking clown. Bitch made. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it so much, but don't speak on the dead. Don't. Yeah. That's just bad energy. Bad energy. But in other news, The Weeknd, which I'm a fan of, I like The Weeknd. He just dropped a single, on midnight, but he also had one before. I like them both. I like the first one a little bit more, but But the second single, that beat was just so hard and so crazy. It was hard for my head not to bop to it, but that's the only thing that released this weekend, which I was a little upset about. And it just, reminded me that, this year's been kind of trash in music, rap-wise. R&B was real good, but rap, it bummed me out because two of my favorite artists, A$AP Ferg and Schoolboy Q, I'm like, all right, this year they gotta come out with an album, especially Schoolboy Q. His last one being Blank Face LP from 2016. So 3 years, and he gives us Crash Talk. Now, granted, I like some of the songs, but to go from Blank Face, a critically acclaimed Grammy-nominated album, to this, I'm just, not too big of a fan. Because he has a line of albums. He has a really good catalog, and 3 years for that album, I just wasn't too excited for. And then A$AP Ferg, I'm like, fuck yeah, I love A$AP Ferg's music. But just too many features I really didn't care to listen to. But all in all, this year for music, hopefully Travis Scott releases that Jack Boys album around Christmas time, how he did with Huncho Jack, that Quavo and Travis Scott, how that came out 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. So hopefully that will come before the new year to make up for some of the, for the most part, weak year of rap. But, all right, I think that's about it for today. Hope you guys had, again, a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully you got everything you wanted to get from Black Friday. Tune in on Tuesday. Should be dropping Tuesday to give you a recap of the games on Sunday in the Monday night game and some NBA stuff. And probably some of the college football because it's rivalry weekend, so should be some good storylines there. But thank you for listening. This was the third episode of the 1-4 Flat podcast. I'm your boy Crick. I'll see you Tuesday.